Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to talk about intruding molars, how to intrude them with braces, how to intrude them with Invisalign. And if you ask an orthodontist about this type of case, you're going to get 20 different answers. So I'm just going to tell you my opinion. You might even get a different opinion from a prosthodontist. But from my experience, first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is you can't just make a treatment plan based on one photo. So I highly recommend on any case like this that you have a SEF and you also have SEF numbers, because we need to see if this is like an overall collapsed vertical dimension case skeletally, where we need to build up all the vertical dimension, or is this just a tooth? Also, we need to know what your overall treatment plan is. Are you planning to place an implant, down here afterwards? Are you wanting to align all the teeth or just intrude that tooth? Obviously, on a case like this, at first stab, I'm thinking, unless the patient's interested in comprehensive ortho, this is probably not going to be very easy to do. Because we're going to want to not only do absolute intrusion on this tooth, that means intruding this tooth, which you maybe can get a millimeter or two with ortho, but we also want to do relative extrusion of the adjacent teeth. That means opening up the whole bite and leveling the curvus B. Together, that should give you a few millimeters of clearance at least. I mean, right now you're almost biting the gum here. So that's probably not going to be enough clearance in order to put an implant at the bottom. You might also have to cut this tooth down, do some prophylactic endo, and a crown. So I think it might be a combination of all of the above in order to meet your needs. So these are one of the things where I want to make sure the patient is fully committed to the whole shebang. So we're going to go ahead and bundle the price for the patient for the comprehensive ortho and the implant, okay? And the implant placement, the implant restoration, and the prophylactic endo and the crown on number 3. So, I mean, all in all, this is about a $10,000 treatment plan that you'd want to bundle into one fee, because you don't want to start something unless you're going to have the patient committed to the whole thing. But that's just my thoughts. And ultimately, if you're breaking this up and an orthodontist is doing part of it and a periodontist is doing part of it and a prosthodontist is doing part of it, then, that's a different story. But obviously, we want to have the patient committed to the whole plan. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, what if we use TADs for this tooth? Well, that's not part of what I do with my consulting services. It's limited just to basic ortho phase 1, braces, aligners. We don't do surgical stuff. If you're needing to do surgical stuff, then the patient really should go to the orthodontist, in my opinion. It's not something that I do with general and pediatric dentists. It's just too difficult to do remotely. And I have a little bit of experience, but I don't have a ton of experience. I can just tell you the experience that I've had, and maybe it was just a one-off, but the experience that I've had doing this type of TADs has never gone well, especially in the maxilla. None of them ever took to the even point where we could even load them, and it takes about 6 months for them even to take. They're incredibly painful. I can tell you, just as a parent and as a consumer, my daughter had an implant placed. I had this great idea. She has a very complicated treatment plan with a lot of issues, and we had this plan that we were going to do some anchorage with a maxillary implant. And not only was it so incredibly painful, I mean, I could just see it in her eyes. Like, it never wasn't painful when she slept, when she laid on it, she slept on that side, when she ate. It never quite integrated, would always wiggle. The pain level was like a 9 out of 10 at all times. We just had to take it out. It never even was successful. And she's a healthy, 13-year-old, 12-year-old who doesn't smoke or anything like that and doesn't have perio and has good bones. So after having that experience, I just forget it. I mean, maybe it's more successful in the mandible, but for maxillary ones, I just, no, not interested. So that's just my experience. But yeah, I mean, I think you'd need a combination. You would need some absolute intrusion, you need some relative extrusion of these teeth, and you would probably need to restore this as well in order to get what you need. And you're going to have more luck with this tooth than if this was flip-flopped. If this tooth was here and this tooth was here and you had to intrude this tooth, that's going to be a lot more difficult. And it would be almost probably impossible with braces. I think you'd have more luck with Invisalign. I have a lot more luck with these type of cases with Invisalign that I do with braces. It's just how it is. But that's just my experience. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you.